Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the National Hockey Centre in Glasgow for live coverage of the FIH Men's World Hockey League. It is the first round of the 2016-17 competition, and 5 sides are here, including host Scotland, and 2 of them will progress to the second round. We've got a great week of hockey ahead, all the way through to Sunday. There's a rest day on Friday, but there is the 5 teams in this round robin table format. So there's 2 games a day over the next just under a week, with the break on Friday. Here are the games ahead. We've got Scotland, the home side, against Switzerland at 7:15 UK time, and ahead of us in just under 10 minutes time it's Portugal against Wales, as the sides are about to come on here, and that one is going to get underway in just under 10 minutes time. Alongside myself, Callum Patterson. In the commentary box is Neil Sturrock, our FIH coach, former national coach and a member of the Commonwealth Games Scotland board previously. Neil, great to have you here. What are you expecting from this first game of the day?
Well, Cam, I'm really excited to see this. We don't often get to see the Portuguese over here. The Welsh, some of the Welsh guys, I think, are up here for the third time this summer, so it's almost like home for them. Both sets of teams have had a fairly robust warm-up programme to get here. The Portuguese, by their own admission from their coach Mario Almeida, are really preparing for their European Championship next year, whereas the Welsh believe, and with some justification, that their current world ranking is a bit lower than it should be, and so they're out to show that they have the talent and the ability to take it to World League 2.
Yeah, plenty of contention about obviously the home nations world rankings, with GB being played over the last couple of years, but we'll talk about more of that throughout the evening. But we'll take a pause for the national anthems that are ahead for both these sides, just a few minutes away now from getting underway in this first game. And the sides are still being read out by the PA system here, but anthems on the way. Let's look at the teams then before we get to the anthems, and let's look at Portugal. And it's a side, as you're saying, Neil, it's really looking ahead to the Euros next year, but plenty of experience there. A few young players, 41st currently in the rankings. Any players we can watch out from that squad?
Well, they've got 9 players in this squad that are 21 or under, so it shows you that they're in a development phase just now. But they do have at least 4 players who are playing outside Portugal just now. 3 of them are playing in Holland in the club Venlos, including Ricardo Teixeira, Miguel Rodrigues and Luis Tavares.
Okay, here's the anthems. Well sung there by the Portuguese. Now it's the turn of the Welsh. Two well-sung anthems. We're just a couple of minutes away from getting underway. May well have just seen the Welsh score on the screen just ahead of the anthems. Neil, obviously we think it'll be the two up front with Goman and Francis probably leading the attack there, but it's a side that have got 8 or 9 players at least of a Commonwealth Games experience a couple of years ago, so again it's a good blend of experience and youth from there.
Yeah, absolutely. The Welsh have got a number of players that are, they had 8 players that played in Cardiff, that played in the European Club Championship competition here that was hosted by our own club Kelburn, and they actually beat the Irish Banbridge in the final 4-0. So they've got experience of playing on this pitch, and from comments from people that were there, they're a very creative side. They also have about 4 or 5 players playing in the English Premiership. So they've got 2 or 3 players playing in Surbiton, Lewis Prosser one. They've also got Gareth Furlong, the drag flicker, who plays with Surbiton. And there's a couple of players, including their goalkeeper and captain David Kettle, who play for Hampstead and Westminster, along with Rupert Shipperley. So a lot of strength there. They've had some great results coming through. Their warm-up matches started in April when they beat France in 2 games, and in fact they were playing Austria just a couple of weeks ago. In comparison, the Portuguese, their warm-ups have been against Belgian club sides, so the intensity that they're likely to find at this first game might be just a little bit higher than they've been used to.
Well, the lowest ranked side are Slovakia, 50th. We'll see them tomorrow. But Portugal, 41st. They were ranked 50th after the 2014-15 World Hockey League. The umpires are Shasher Pancheri of Switzerland and Ian Diamond of Scotland. So they're the two in the yellow jerseys. And Wales in their traditional red. Portugal in the green tops and red shorts. And that is just the countdown to getting underway for the first match of the week in this FIH World League. It's the first round stage, and 2 from 5 will go through, and it is Wales to get us underway for this week's competition. Hopefully a good week of competition and maybe a little bit of spice as well, that there is the 2 home nation sides playing here. Also Scotland in action later on against the Swiss, but we'll enjoy this one, and thank you for joining our coverage as Wales look to get going with Kelly and trying to whiz it forward and trying to get off to a bright start.
Good, Welsh showing a bit of patience moving around the back, with the Portuguese forming up early on with a diamond up front and allowing the pass out to the wide wing backs.
Pinheiro looking to get some early play. Loose in the middle, and Wales look to try and profit. Some space out to the left with Shipperley. A little bit green there, and out it goes. Just looking to try and settle into the pattern, but already it's certainly the Welsh that have tried to settle, tried to put Portuguese under pressure. Pinheiro looking for the support. Moreira. Nico Moreira looking to take it on himself, but a little bit ragged and not exactly ideal in the first couple of minutes of the first game. Gooch along, and they're trying to keep it pacey. Kelly been roving down that side a couple of times already, continues into the D, and it's already a penalty corner. That's a fast start.
Yeah, second time that Kelly's managed to get down that right channel, and showing good skills approaching the circle and getting the first penalty corner. 3rd minute of the game.
So all the conversations going on in there. Mugridge involved in that chat. He's going as well.
So normal drag flicker for the Welsh would be Gareth Furlong, who plays with Surbiton. He would be their number one option if he's on. I think he is.
Portuguese are ready to defend. There's Shipperley to inject. First chance of the match and dragged wide by Kelly. Quickly taken by Prossart and weaved in well by Gooch. Keeper has to make the stop this Camacho, and they managed to get it away to Portugal. And first real venture forward with the penalty corner and the subsequent attack, and just about get away with it for the Portuguese.
Yeah, very fast out by the number one runner, and drag flicker hadn't really got the ball released by the time the first runner was out there. With the first runner as quick as that, you may well be looking to transfer the next one.
Been the staple way the Portuguese have played so far. Really hard to get out of their own half. Trying to turn away Tavares. So much pressure. I see Kelly down there once again trying to cause problems, and it's loose once more from the Portuguese. Good flicking turn by Moreira.
Good double team by the Portuguese.
Already their own subs starting to take place. Miguel Rodriguez coming on for the Portuguese side, and also making use of the bench early on. Luke Hawker now on for Wales. Mugridge with the flicking turn, and now it's switched quickly to Furlong. Seen the space and good turn away by Prossart. Took his time, decided to go and try and find Kyriakidis. Quick run through for Shipperley. Tried to make his own gap. Rodriguez tried to put him off all the way across the circle, and this went Portuguese way.
Yeah, good patient build up by the Welsh. Nice rotation in midfield by Prosser, releasing the ball back to his central defender and then clearing out, and then eventually picking up the ball in the wide left midfield position. So good movement and mobility in the Welsh midfield.
Remember the Portuguese turn and looked to get on with it quickly. Bobbling around trying to get the chase in is Ivo Moreira. A little bit rushed that. They've tried to go quickly, but in the end I don't think there's too many green jerseys quite ready for a pass.
I think he was trying to get Tomahawk on his target, but didn't have the ball in the right position and didn't actually create very much with it.
One or two more on for a Welsh in the off the bench. Dale Hutchison.
So again, David Prosser releasing the ball back to his centre backs, but then creating a lead out to the left midfield for the ball to come down that channel. Good pressure. Good pressure by Luke Hawker there, creating the turnover.
Now Furlong gets on with it. Shipley providing the support, back with Furlong. Kyriakidis was looking for the option, found it. Portugal's sitting back really waiting for the chance to get the ball. Very difficult. Welsh winning the bulk of this possession in the opening 8 minutes or so. It's fine, says the umpire. Furlong. It's the Welsh free hit. Gooch. Spread across. Kelly forward. Impact player so far. Kyriakidis in towards the D. Good control. And Carson, one of those that's came off the bench in the last couple of minutes. Oh, that's excellent. Trying to feed it through towards the centre of the D. No one there in red. And breaking away at paces. Rogerson and clattering there on the floor. Daniel Kyriakidis. As quickly as Portugal try to get out, they're back, going to be under pressure again.
Welsh again showing good patience in the build-up. They've got 3 backs just now, and then they're able to put the ball through and forward here to Furlong, and then get a circle approach.
Oh, it's neat again. Doing great.
Good 3D skills, but good defending by the Portuguese.
Not getting any respite out of these defenders in green. 1 or 2 need a breather already. Nicholas Benzel taking one of those breathers, Helder Gonçalves as well. But Wales once more, free hit time, quickly to Furlong. Prosser. Furlong. Portugal try and protest, and right across there and looking to try and poke it in was Dolan Gray, but in the end goes away from the goal.
Getting a few circle penetrations there from Wales, and each time looking to get the ball onto a stick for a deflection towards the goal, or for somebody to be able to shoot. Surprised that they're maybe not just thinking about taking another penalty corner at the moment and get their noses in front on the scoreboard.
Tavares trying to work his way out the ground. Pinheiro. And great pressing again from Wales, and straight back with them. Pressure mounting once more. Furlong decides to stretch it out to Kelly. There's trio down there, watch on. Gareth Furlong once more to Kyriakidis. And Big Tall 22 were looking for it back, but instead weaving it out as Furlong once more. Furlong forward and Kyriakidis once more. Found the teammate. They go back towards Furlong. Gareth Furlong, the one that's 18. The 2 in there. Rodri Furlong is 10. Smashed across by Carles, and is it in? No, it is
Long
in.
corner.
Pressure's mounting here, surely it's going to come at some point.
Yeah, I think Welsh just have to get some outcomes when they get towards the circle. I think they're looking for the deflection and the shot at goal. Occasionally, if you take a couple of corners and get the defence set, you get a little bit more time, then it settles the team. Good save by the keeper. Camacho coming out there.
Portugal again try and get a little bit of respite. João Ferreira running on at pace to get into position. Number 4. Euro, it's just been given straight away. Francis forward, flick and turn, and it's somehow not found its way in. Karakidas with the initial flick. I think it was Gooch in the middle of the D, but somehow it didn't go in.
Yeah, it was good build-up play, and all he had to do was actually try and get the stick and deflect it into the goal, but unfortunately knocked it past the post.
One end to the other. Portugal looked to try and got the way, but was rather aggressive from William Rogerson.
I think you've got to be careful, because no matter how much you control the game, the other team are always going to get an opportunity, and Portuguese had a one-on-one there in the Welsh circle. That's a great ball down the line. Great pick up by Gray Doolan.
Trying to work his way in towards the D. He will have it. And now it's Mugridge. Triple is providing an option also. Furlong. Twist and turning.
Defence.
Portuguese bench watch on, and the high ball for the chasing Miguel Rodriguez. That was something a little bit different, and it might well have caught a side out on the counter.
Problem is all coaches will say, Callum, that you can't put a straight aerial ball on a straight run, because the two lines never meet. So it's got to be a straight aerial ball onto a diagonal run, or a diagonal ball onto a straight run, because then they eventually intersect at some point.
I'll try to be a little bit more glamorous about the old hit and hope, but the
that was good. It was a good idea. It was just the position of the high forward didn't quite lend itself to.
Well, this Portugal side did come second behind Wales in the Euro Hockey Nations Challenge, third to it, and second just behind, so both gaining promotion, but Wales certainly with the better of it. Kelly changing sides, flicking, trying to turn in there, Francis, and there's another penalty corner in there. And applause going to Francis, 1 or 2 handshakes.
Yeah, good break down the left, drive into the circle, ball aimed for forward, head up, past the left foot of the Portuguese defender. Next one comes up off his stick, makes it dangerous when Francis then tries to play it on from there. So we'll see whether the Welsh set up in a similar fashion. Last time they set up with what we call a double castle, 2 stick stoppers and 2 drag flickers. It came to the first one where Gareth Furlong had a drag flick, but the number 1 runner of Portugal was out so quickly. Be interesting to see whether they use an option or whether Gareth just gets on the ball that shade quicker.
There's Rupert Shipperley to inject again. Slid through, and it's went in, and very much acclaim Furlong in the act with the celebrations, and it's been coming, and they've got the lead.
Absolutely, and that's what your coach wants. If you've got a quality drag flicker, you want to get the corners, give them the opportunity from the top of the circle. Defence have limited options to be able to close it down. Goalkeeper was slightly unbalanced when the flick came in, and let's see it. And another attack now.
Yeah, trying to make the run Shipperley in towards the circle. Just gotten away as you're watching the replay of the goal, and that doesn't come to anything, but Wales now got 1, now looking to try and get another very quickly.
And in hockey, Gareth, it's very similar to football, that sometimes you ship a goal, you ship another one pretty quickly, so that the Portuguese have got to try and get a little bit control on the ball and try to keep this score for a while. But the Welsh are very quick to close them down, very aggressive in defence.
Also the old adage, you can score one then concede one very quickly. Rodriguez, and it came off an arm, I think, in there off Penetra, but that was again could have came to something like that.
Correct. Amazing how many goals are scored within 5 minutes of a goal being scored one way or the other.
confirmation. Furlong with the opener for Wales. Took plenty. The celebration has been lively in this first period. One of a couple of Welsh players.
Yeah, the Portuguese are quite happy, or seem to be happy, to let the Welsh move the ball out to their wide right and wide left wing defenders. And then once it comes down, to try and close it down there. But they've not been hugely successful in closing down the right side.
Neat little touch towards Daniel Kyriakidis. Stick goes flying off Penetra. Space for Furlong. Carson. That's dangerous. Looking for a bit of support. Can't quite find it. Back to Mugridge. And it's found its way through. And there is the buses. There's one. There's a second in quick succession.
Yeah, it was a good build-up initially by the Welsh down the left-hand side. You could see it coming as the ball went out to the left wing defender and then down to the left wing. The cross over wasn't dangerous. It was high-ish, but nobody managed to get hold of it. And then, unfortunately, so you see the build-up now. Great lead out. I think the Welsh coach would be a wee bit disappointed how far away the teammates are, but high flick, stopped well on the back post, dropped off, good defence, and then we've got Mugridge there putting it on target, and then not sure whether Hawker got it or whether it was deflection by the Portuguese, but
I can tell you it's been officially given to Mugridge. I don't think it took a significant nick, so it's officially been given to him. We'll give it to him, and it's number 2. And 2 in 2 minutes. And for all the play, they've got the reward with just over 15 left in this first period. Portugal 0, Wales 2 in this opener.
And certainly the momentum's with Wales, isn't it? You can see you can see the way they're building up, and the leads that Gareth Furlong's managing to find that ball down to the left wing channel quite easily now. Yeah, you'd be looking for a better connection than that from the Welsh.
Trying to find a little neat ball through with João Penetra. Trying to cause pressure or put a bit of pressure on was Nicholas Wenzel, but difficult all time now for this Portuguese side. Forward again, ProStar looking for teammate, only found player in green. And forward comes Moreira. Flat on the stick, and that meant a little peep of the whistle.
Yeah, interestingly though, that was David Prosser that got back to make that tackle. He was the guy that gave the ball away, and he got his defensive job done to get back and try and regain the ball, and that's what coaches want to see. Not the tackle, but the defensive work. Nice play by Rodri Furlong there in the pocket, playing in the centre midfield role, just in helping his back three to move the ball out as the Portuguese stepped up.
Long searching ball, Kyriakidis, and it was found. Support coming in from Carson. Again, just skipping by, but good recovery by Tavares. It was over Wenzel's foot, but Portugal do well. Trying to get the control in was Gooch, and in the end it goes Wales' way. Yeah,
lifted into the defender. He was trying to lift it over the stick and didn't quite manage to get it past him.
Going Gray this time. It's getting a bit too easy down the channels for this Wales side, but they get it away again. David Franco forward for Portugal, just darted out by Gooch. That's a good old-fashioned tussle and a green card as well.
Yeah, just a bit of body and a bit of stick. A good aerial ball picked up in the circle.
Nicholas Wenzel.
Carson gets it over to the back post, but unfortunately just not quite able to turn the ball in from Owen Gray-Dolan.
Portugal already desperate for half time. There's another forward play. Carson. In the end, doesn't come to anything, and looking a bit frustrated with life already, and they've really played 20 minutes, 25 minutes in the first game of the week.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for them down to 10 men. They were having to work very, very hard when they had 11 against a good Welsh side. With 10 players, you'd expect the Welsh to step it up now, maybe leave a high forward.
Nicholas Rensel below us, the owner of the first green card, if that is an honour for the first card of the week. Won't be in his head, and his side too adrift in this first half, and forward it goes once more. Rodri Furlong, and again further forward by Prosser, is there to provide an option if needed.
Lots of space wide right if they can get it over quickly. You could have missed that guy out and got right over quicker, but they've got it into the right wing corner.
It's weaving in again, and it is the Welsh's ball. It'll stay with them. There is Wenzel down there, and this time another penalty corner, and Portugal just really struggling at the moment. They just Wales, since they got the first goal, they got the second, and they're battling forward, especially in the channels. They're getting a lot of join out in both channels.
Yeah, so penalty corner being awarded. Second umpire Ian Diamond at the pavilion end, helping out his colleague and giving a foot off one of the Portuguese. So we'll see where the Welsh go with this.
Well, they're back up now to full complement, or Wenzel was coming back on, well, not quite. He's been told to come back off until after this bit of play. Change of injection coming in for this time from Daniel Kyriakidis. Looking for the third here, and just slipped wide by Hawker.
Yeah, so they went to the second castle. Gareth Furlong stepped in along with his stopper, and good drag flick by Luke Hawker, but just going past the goalkeeper's right hand post along the ground.
Portugal back up to the full complement now. Scrapped back by Dale Hutchinson. Had the support initially and couldn't quite keep hold of it, could Dolan Gray.
Portuguese relying very heavily on number 7 Miguel Rodriguez to get the ball out in any shape or form, and he's running an incredible amount of the pitch to try and do that. It's going to ask a lot of him to keep that going, not just for another 8 or 9 minutes, but for another 35 in the second half.
Gareth Furlong.
Good intelligent hockey there by Furlong. Substitution taking place just a couple of yards in front of him, which closed down the line that he would normally have got. So he just changed direction, went out to the right side, and they attacked down the right channel to get a long corner.
Welsh bench happy so far with the work done. Kyriakidis, Gareth Furlong, Rodri Furlong, both the Furlongs combining. Back with Gareth. In the end, it's going to come back.
So somebody of a older age group will be able to tell us what 2 furlongs make.
I'm not in that age bracket.
No, and I'm not saying anything.
And neither are you, actually, but just to clear that one up. That's a grey all day, 2 or 3 in. crowd I'm sure will build for the Scotland game later on against the Swiss. It's been a bit rainy. It's like one of those horrible Scottish sort of late summer days which you don't get very often, where it's really warm but very rainy. So it's, do you wear a jacket, do you not wear a jacket? Those fans in the stand I think are just opting to have a beer instead and other light refreshments. Thanks for joining the live coverage, whether you're having beer or a cup of tea at home or wherever you're watching.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's taking the players so long to understand the new ruling under the aerial ball. What's been recommended is if the ball goes up, only the player that it's coming down on should be there. Anybody else moves under it, it becomes dangerous. And so still taking a little bit of time for that to filter through to some of the players at certain levels.
It's a fast changing sport. They do like to make decisions and change things if things aren't working, which you look at some other sports, it takes forever for changes to happen in laws.
Yeah, one of the things that I would say is a very positive thing for hockey as a sport is that we look to change the rules and improve them as we can. So the great thing about rolling substitutes is that coaches can have an influence on the game, but you can also get younger players involved in internationals without having to give them a full game. So you can put them on for a period of time, give them 10-15 minutes, and then take them off and talk to them about their performance.
There was the challenge just a moment ago. Kiedis was across there from Kelly's ball, and now that was a cynical one in the middle, and it's card coming out, and he was running off straight away. He was Roger Furlong.
Known as taking one for your country.
Not just one for your team, one for your country.
I think the Portuguese would be pretty unhappy with that because they were on a really good break. The Welsh coach will be reasonably comfortable that under the circumstances the Portuguese now have the ball back in their own 23.
I'll maybe try and take this small window of opportunity. Rogerson was looking for a teammate. Menzel was alongside. Now down the other end, trying to valiantly try and stretch and keep it in was Shipperley. There is Roger Furlong on his couple-minute breather, enforced breather. Uh, 1-1 on the green card stakes, and it's a couple of goals to nil in the Welsh favour, 4.5 minutes before the break.
Yeah, I think the Portuguese coach will be wanting to keep this scoreline at best for the next 4 minutes and not concede anything else. I think the Welsh coach will be looking to try and get the momentum back and get another one before half time and make sure that the game is certainly dead by half time.
Well, they're trying to work the gap. Salvish was there, but just again not quite the patience and the time. We see Wales can turn it up and be quick, but they also can be patient and try and find the little ball through. I know Neil alongside, you're pointing out different gaps, especially in the Wales attack, but Portugal just a little bit frustrating when they try and get forward. They don't quite have the ideas.
Well, the Welsh are marking them very tightly man for man along the back line, so the only passes that are on are when they lead back towards their own goal line, and they don't have an awful lot of support when they do, so it's one player getting the ball. Good interception there by Rhys Cowman.
And now they carry on, and there's space here for Carson, and slipped through, and good stuff from the keeper Camacho. Couple of bites at it, and they've got it away.
Very calm under a bit of pressure there by Ivo Moreira in the circle, taking the ball off his keeper and bringing it out under control. Lovely fake there by Miguel Rodriguez, number 7, leading towards the ball and just leaving it. Took some of the Welsh players by surprise and went through to one of his players in the top circle. But again, good break now by Wales. Great opportunities, 2 against 2 in the circle.
Back
good
with
support.
Shipperley. Oh, it's high. And it's been given Welshway, and penalty corner given, but the umpire stopped it here.
And again, good consultation by the 2 umpires. Ian Diamond could see that the ball actually came up from the Welsh player. So a great drop, ball into the circle, but as soon as you lean forward with your stick like that, it's obviously going to come up. So I think it was Caswell who, James Carson put his stick forward and deflected up.
Yeah.
Nice to see the umpires working as a team, making sure that they do their best to get the decision right.
Yeah, Shashi Pancheri of Switzerland is the other umpire. You mentioned Neil Ian Diamond as the Scottish umpire. Just on the floor, getting back to his feet. David Franco of Portugal. Just under a couple of minutes left of this first period. It's been a quick old first half.
So as we look at the Portuguese just now, it's interesting. They told us they were starting with a back 3 with 5 in midfield, but they weren't getting the ball out, and now they've gone to a back 4, try and give them a little bit more. But again, Ivan Moreira there just giving the ball away, trying to make a connection with a colleague, but he was too far away.
Carson in the mix once more, but it goes away from the Welsh, and it's back with Portugal. They look a bit fed up, those Portuguese players on the bench. Looking forward to just try and regroup at the interval. It's not quite done and dusted for sure. It's only 2.
It's always a difficult score, 2-0, isn't it? If the opposition get 1 back, then it can be quite shaky for the team that went 2 up.
Well, Welsh trying to make it 3. Miguel Rodriguez, who probably has been the standout player in this first half for the Portuguese, does his job.
Fantastic ball. What a fantastic ball.
Couple making their way forward, including Moreira. Venzel's slowed it down, looking for a bit of help. Tavares, and it's getting away in frustration. And Carson just taking his time. Couple of forward, including Hawker and Mugridge. And then well recovered off the foot, so the advantage to this Portuguese side. Ivo Moreira, but time is almost up.
Yeah, a few tired bodies towards the end. People trying to do a wheel lift over a flat stick and not quite getting it and running the ball on the flat stick. So in the last minute, 90 seconds, the amount of turnovers were more than the coaches would have wanted.
So a couple of goals Wales lead through Gareth Furlong and Robert Mugridge. Give us your full assessment. Wales pretty much in charge, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Having said that, as you pointed out, Portuguese have been in their 25. They've had a couple of breakaways. If I was the Welsh coach, you'd be reasonably happy. You're 2 up. It's the first game of the tournament. You're in control. You would be looking to up the tempo, get into the circle, make more connections or more outcomes in the circle. I don't think they've been hugely successful in that. I think Mario Almeida, the Portuguese coach, you could turn around and say, apart from a 5-minute spell, they've actually dealt with it quite well.
Here's a look at the goals. Let's look at the first one. Gareth Furlong with the opener, and it came from the penalty corner.
Yeah, it was first runner didn't get quite as close that time. The first penalty corner he got out and he managed to block it. Gareth got that one away quicker, but I think the other thing was that he opened up his wrists as he started to drag, and so he was going to the goalkeeper's left, and it was more in the centre and went through him, whereas the first one I think was going down the right hand channel. Keeper was on his feet, went down a little bit late. Second one, lovely ball down the wing, great pick up. Welsh players are quite far away from the guy who controlled the ball. That was a good stop. unfortunate for the Portuguese there because they managed to knock the ball back to Mugridge. His shot but then looked as though it was deflected in by Joao Ferreira. But again, great lead to the left wing, but no real close support, and he was having to force something in the circle. That's a great tackle, but Mugridge there rolls the ball in, and it takes a deflection off the Portuguese, which takes it past his goalkeeper. They'll be disappointed. The Welsh, well, they won't really care who gets the goal as long as they continue onwards from here.
Okay then, so that is the half-time score. We've got around just over 7 minutes till we get underway for the second half, so we'll take a little pause, but the half-time score, Portugal 0, Wales 2. Welcome back to the National Hockey Centre in Glasgow. We are just a minute or just under so away from the second period of this first match in the Hockey World League. We're in the first round phase. Portugal 0, Wales 2. Remember, you can get involved with the conversation on Twitter. It's at Scottish Hockey, where we are based for the week, and it's hashtag HWL 2016. So hashtag HWL 2016, you get in contact, and all the info is there for you on the screen. So almost ready for the second period, and great to have Neil Sturrock alongside myself, Callum Patterson, for our coverage today and tomorrow. And you've had a few minutes now to digest that first half. What do you think is going to happen? Is there any way for Portugal to get themselves back into the need to get a counter attack, don't they?
Yeah, I think Mario was just trying to encourage his guys to understand everything's happening quicker for them than they've been used to. Even playing their warm-up games were against Belgian club sides, and the Welsh are putting them under pressure quicker. And he was trying to suggest to them at half-time that they need to be facing the direction that their next action is being, that they're looking for, rather than facing where the ball's coming. Welsh, I expect the Welsh to step up again the first 10 minutes here to try and get that third goal, get a few more connections in the 23 and in the circle.
So underway for the second period, and of course, if you're a little bit unfamiliar with the format, 3 points for a win. It is a round format with group phase, and the top two get through. 3 points for a win, and trying to scrap in there was Dolan Gray. Portugal do enough to get it away from immediate danger. Franco looking to turn away and does well. So 3 points for a win in normal time. If it is a draw after the end of the 70 minutes, then we go to a shootout, the timed 8-second shootout, which has been an exciting feature, and the winners of that will get 2 points, and if you lose in that shootout you get 1 anyway, so you're guaranteed a point if there's a draw after normal time. You can gain a point in the shootout. I think I've explained that clearly. It's interesting, the 2 point win through a shootout. It's an interesting dynamic, and we'll see if it's used throughout the week. I'm sure it probably will.
So the first 2-3 minutes of the second half, Portuguese starting to get a ball into the circle, made a great play down the right hand channel, good long corner move there, deflection into the circle. What we were talking about, unfortunately the centre forward wasn't used to having as little time to take his shot, but again, here they go.
Moreira, oh, it's great!
Great save.
And, keeper did really well. Just first real flurry and gap opened up for the Portuguese, but not quite for Ivo Moreira. And excellently done by the goalkeeper David Kettle, and also the captain. Is that little to do? That's the first time we've mentioned them in the whole game.
So the Portuguese, having changed to their back four, now started to create a few channels, similar channels to the ones in fact that the Welsh were finding in the first half, down the outside.
Sierra found support in Netra. Trying to get in there's Kelly, and protests all round. Wales have it. Fine, says the umpire Ian Diamond, and off we go, and Wales count it. On Dolan Gray found the supports. Oh, and almost flicked through for Benjamin Francis. Couldn't quite get the deft touch. And that was almost a clinical counter, this time from the Welsh.
Yeah, and Ian Diamond saying that the Portuguese defender got his stick in first and given the long corner, but a great break.
Kelly with real power and too much power. And that's where we're based. We've got a good view right in the middle of the field. Where, of course, Neil provides his expert eye. No pressure.
Again, there's the Welsh coming. The Portuguese coming down the same left channel that the Welsh came down in the first period. and a little bit of the Balearic temperament coming out.
Well, we do have the free hit. They're going to go backwards as David Franco. As I said in the first half, this Portuguese side finished behind Wales in the 2015 Euro Hockey Nations Trophy, both of them getting out of the Challenge 3 tier. So they know each other quite well. And we were talking about it right at the start, but obviously there's a bit of an anomaly with the home nations, with the GB team playing in this competition in the last cycle. And obviously there wasn't any Welsh players or indeed Scottish players who you'll see later on that are on the GB sides. They don't filter through and get points for the ranking dished out through the GB side, so Wales think they should be higher up than what they are in 36th.
Yeah, I think there are no Welsh players playing first corner for Portugal. So, as we said before, it just needs one goal from Portugal to open this game up again. They've got Miguel Rodriguez, number 7. I think was one of their drag flickers. Oh, sorry, Wales penalty corner again, looking the wrong way. Yeah. So again, this is their opportunity to really put the Portuguese back on their heels. Portuguese have had a really good 5-6 minute period, and they put the Welsh under a bit of pressure.
It's a bit of a dagger.
We've got Gareth Furlong and
Staniel Kyriakides to inject, and does so. Oh, it's well saved on the top by Luis Tavares from Gareth Furlong, and well, that was heading in.
That's where it starts to show the danger in the hockey of being a defender. You've got to be well trained to take balls at that pace.
And the wave of attack continues, and somehow it never got a touch there. One or two red faces potentially. I thought
Rhys
Gowman was going to get there. Yeah,
Rhys Gowman at the back post. Stick wasn't quite flat on the ground, and ball went underneath it and out the side.
Gowman there trying to pinch off Luis Tavares. Searching ball, looking for Miguel Rodriguez, and he's got it. Just kind of got their way back into it, but they're looking for some reward. Make it rather fascinating. Rodriguez. It's a bit dangerous.
Yeah, what the Portuguese have done so far this half is that they've missed the midfield out, so they're taking the ball out to the channels. And here's the penalty corner again, with Furlong coming in. It'd be interesting to see whether he was outside the post when he deflected it. He's actually outside the post when the ball hits his stick and goes over. But it's a save, and
got away with one potentially.
Yeah.
Forward with pace by Gooch. Too much, too hot to handle for Ian Brignall. If you've just joined us in the first half, 2 goals in a couple-minute period. Gareth Furlong, penalty corner in the 17th minute, and then Robert Mugridge on the edge of the D. His effort found all the way through into the goal. But pushing and shoving, and Portugal have it, and they've certainly tried to make it a bit more of a contest in this second period. As Luis Tavares found that man Rodriguez once more. Back flick just almost found its way through. Good covering by Gowman, but only as far as Franco. Taking it on, waiting for someone in green, and it was in space, but no one in green to pick it up. Now Shipley at the other end, and look at this, there's a real danger here for Portugal, trying to flick it back for Prosa. And it's become very stretched now.
Shipley looking for a penalty corner, thought he'd managed to get it onto the foot of the Portuguese defender, but both umpires in agreement that it wasn't.
Benjamin Carlos. Back it goes and along from Gareth Furlong. Gets it back. Excellent again. Kelly. To no one.
That final entry into the circle from the Welsh just needs a bit higher quality. Either the ball's being bobbled or not quite making the connection with the player that they're looking for.
Remember, the home side Scotland in action at 7:15. Local time here in Glasgow, they are against Switzerland. So I'm sure there'll be a few Scots in supporting, and I'm sure there'll be one or two Swiss as well. Portugal though trying to get one back. Franco forward to teammate in Moreira. Yeah, frustrations down there on the sidelines.
Don't think we've seen this so far. Portuguese have got 9 of their outfield players in the Welsh half.
Ambitious to say the least. Moreira goes to no one, and now here comes Shipperley. Forward and had the support, and Kelly back now. There's 2, 3, 4 getting forward. And it's deflected behind. Shipperley was waiting right in prime spot. That man's got a bit of thinking to do.
Again, that was a good break by Wales, but the ball into the circle was easy for the defender to intercept. They've got to get better quality of the delivery into the circle area, into their forwards.
Miguel Rodriguez just there waiting to pounce, but it is with Wales, with Carlos back to Mugridge, who did get the second goal. Here the cloth on the sticks, but Shipperley carries on, found a teammate, and that's tucked in very nicely. Luke Hawker. And despite Portugal trying to get back into in the second half, that may well be job done now.
The difference at that time was that the ball injected into the circle. Nice turn by Shipperley. Picks the ball up and releases it, but the ball goes in from around about the 23 metre. Furlong puts it over back post. Luke Hawker sitting nicely, just deflecting the ball into that post. Point of attack was changed very nicely.
Coming together down below. Umpire just lets the free hit and get on. So Hawker with the third. And Wales now looking like they've got 3 points. Looking for another one. Shipperley turn and flick, and Hawker again in the act, trying to get himself a quick second.
Yeah, it's been a totally different 14 minutes of game in the second half, with Portugal actually coming out and playing a bit. Ended up giving the Welsh a little bit more space, but again there's that Miguel Rodriguez showing some super on the ball skills.
Rodriguez looking to get it forward and did quickly.
Skills.
Morera losing out to Mugridge. Won it back here though, just needing a bit of help. There's Tavares. Hopeful more than anything, but they do have it.
Yeah, heading for the defender or the forward, actually making a lead towards the back post. So Portuguese have a set move from the corner. That's twice they've moved it, where the lead player comes out from the circle and the passer gives it to him to deflect the ball into the circle.
Rodriguez, that man again, trying to get a snap, turn and shot away. And if we are to pick out a player on this Portuguese side, Miguel Rodriguez has to be the one that seems to be there trying to do something for his side.
Absolutely, and as they defend now and force Wales out to the left, he steps high and tries to keep the ball on the one side and allows the rest of his players to come forward. He's doing a lot of unselfish and running for the team. A nice opportunity here for the Welsh with Lewis Prosser out on the right. Keeping possession now.
Kelly, one of the Welsh players that's been lively down the channel. And he's going to collect it back. Skipping in and out. Can it be controlled by Brignall? Brignall! All the way across and right.
Good effort. Great drive down the baseline by Kelly. Trying to find the ball back to a teammate. When Brignall did control it first, it was actually outside the circle, so he couldn't take the shot, forcing him onto his backhand.
Now another opportunity. Saved well by Camacho. And maybe the little thunders in the belly of Portugal looking to get back into the second half. That's wilted away with the third Welsh goal.
Well, lots of space down the left wing this time.
Look at all the red in the circle.
And a good tackle. And Nicholas Wenzel back doing his defensive work for his teammates.
There's a look at Prosser's try.
Good save, and then David Franco goes in and helps his goalkeeper out and takes the ball out under control.
So much pressure coming in, Prosser around as well as Francis. No time. Just about got it away. Gonçalves forward looking for Teixeira, and looks like there was a bit of a shove in the back, and I think we may well get another green card. Here's the tactics board. Might have to get changed about a little bit as off for a breather as Benjamin Carlos. Go for a couple of moments.
Portuguese coach complaining that while they were giving the card, they didn't stop the play or give the Portuguese a foul. So while the Welshman got a card for committing a foul, the Portuguese didn't get any advantage from it.
That's back with the side in red, side with a 3-goal margin.
So the Welsh can just sit on this ball for a while, allow the penalty to run down a little bit, and Portuguese have to come out and make the opportunities.
Forward now, Dolan Gray. Wales looking to add to their advantage. There is Benjamin Carlos sitting out. Probably had about a minute or so of that, so it'll be let him say a little bit to come back on potentially in the next moment or so. Prosser And to turn round is Rodri Furlong. Prosser. Space. Nice from Kelly. Very nice from Kelly. And not quite from Benjamin Francis.
What was interesting about that build up there from the Welsh, ball was being moved around the back, and it was Rhys Gowman that was playing wide left and came in, and he's initially been one of the forwards, so they're very mobile and can play a lot of different positions.
Doing great. Sport coming in and trying to keep hold of it. Kyriakides, I think, in the mix.
That's a good shave
Morena
tackle.
loses it. One back. Hutchison, and now Kelly. And it's a right mess in there, and eventually I think well done to Antonio Camacho in there, because he was brave trying to keep it to himself.
Yeah, I think the final pass to Rhys Gowman was too close to the goalkeeper, and Rhys has got to take that, try and take the ball away from the goalkeeper rather than play it back into him.
Mind that you can get involved. Hashtag HWL2016 at Scottish Hockey. And using that hashtag if you want to get in touch. At Scottish Hockey, hashtag HWL2016. If you want any thoughts on the game, we can maybe read one or two of your thoughts out after this one. David Franco, another player you'd probably put on the positive side if you're doing a score out of 10 chart. He's worked hard. Good little flick back for João Penetra, and this could be another card, and another couple of minutes. Making a little run off is Stephen Kelly's turn to have his little enforced seat.
Yeah, the tackle was from a difficult position. The Portuguese guy got in front of him. Stephen reached across, slightly off balanced himself, so had his arm in the back of the Portuguese player. So first penalty corner for Portugal.
There's some of the tactics board. Got a brief look at it anyway.
So David Franco on one drag flick. It looks like Ricardo Teixeira.
So it's Tavares to inject.
So double castle, two stick stocks at the top, one to the left post, one to the right post. Well, showing what we call a 3-1 defence, 3 on one post, one on the other. We'll see what they come out with.
So Tavares to deliver, and celebrations as they are on the board. And well, I did just mention a couple of moments ago about David Franco, one of those that has worked hard along with Miguel Rodriguez, and a deserved goal, because it's certainly for the play in the second half.
Absolutely. Here's you picking this game already, Callum. Yes, the thing with the two setup means that makes it difficult for the defence to commit themselves totally to one side or the other, and so you have to hang back a little bit. David Franco took it well, put it down to David Kettle's bottom right hand side, so 3-1, 13 minutes to go.
And now Wales trying to turn it with Shipperley. Well, it was the game. We were here a few weeks back doing the Euro hockey and the youth level, and there was a couple of goals in just under 60 seconds, which was just before half-time break. So it can be done the last minute of a half. We've seen two goals.
Absolutely, and the goal happened immediately after Stephen Kelly went off. They got the corner for the tackle, scored the goal from the corner. So as coaches keep saying to you, you've got to stay on the park. Going a player down subsequently can cost you. Lewis Prosser taking control at the back just now. Just trying to run the game, control the pace of it. Portuguese still have to come out.
Gareth Furlong.
Yeah, good skills from Gareth Furlong.
Kyriakidis now. It's Jonathan Gooch. Back there is Hawker trying to help out. And the stick tackle goes in favour of the Welsh. Rodri Furlong is trying to get forward. Slightly not quite what Daniel Kyriakidis was intending.
Not the easiest of passes to take from one of your teammates, but dealt with it well.
Kyriakidis was stretching there again. Back with Rupert Shipperley. Cross for Prosser. Gareth Furlong. And there's another penalty corner signalled, and may well be a chance for the Welsh to try and extend their advantage back to 3.
Absolutely. And the build up there from the back started off with Lewis Prosser sitting in the, as we watch the Scotland team approach the pavilion to get ready for their game. But it started with Lewis Prosser in the middle. Then Rupert Shipperley came back, took over that role. Prosser moved left. Ball moved around, went to Prosser, went to Gareth Furlong, who had moved to a left wing position, came along the baseline, won the corner. So the mobility makes it really difficult for an opposition to mark your player when your player suddenly appears 30 yards away from where you're expecting him.
Well, this time from the penalty corner it is Rupert Shipperley. Well, they're not too happy. It was Carson trying to get 1 or 2 stabs in the circle. I've just seen the Scotland team arrive there off the bus. Their match at Switzerland. We've got live coverage of that. It's a 7:15 kickoff here local time. So we've got live coverage of that. And obviously if you're nearby in Glasgow, why not get yourself down? I know it's raining, but it is sheltered, don't worry. Shipperley gets forward once more, but Portugal now looking to try and get it away. They've got one back. There's that small glimmer like there was when it was 2-0.
Again, good skills by David Franco. Good tackle on Rupert Shipperley down in the bottom corner, and then he brings it out under control and gets the foul, and then releases a good ball down to left forward, who kept the ball in very, very well.
Ribeiro just needed a bit of help.
Yeah, good defence by Lewis Prosser, covering his feet, knowing what the forward was likely to try and do. New energy about some of the Portuguese now, isn't there?
Yeah, Moreira this time got the advantage here on the umpire, but there's none, so they're going to get the free hit. Taken on quickly by Tavares. Is it shoved over illegally? Well, play on. Rodriguez trying to find the gap. Oh, in the end it goes against him, and just thought the frustrations down on the bench down there, and I think one of the players has talked himself into 5 minutes, and Luis Tavares frustrated. An umpire, it's now red, and he's clearly said something seriously offensive, I guess, offensive language. From a yellow, it's boiled over for Shashir Pancheri, the umpire, to pull out the red, and off goes Luis Tavares. Well, any hopes I think are well and truly extinguished.
Yeah, it's very difficult to. Portugal were making a reasonable fist of it second half when they had 11, but they are going to really struggle now to do anything with a Welsh side that moves the ball well, and be looking for more opportunities to get on the board.
So Wales now with advantage for the last 8 minutes in personnel. They've got the advantage on the scoreboard.
Looks like the Portuguese, whether by choice or by necessity, have stepped back towards a half quarter court and are defending their 23-yard line, 23-metre line rather. But that's the Welsh with 10 outfield players in their half, now playing the ball round the back, almost on the halfway line.
Nice neat skills. Gooch was trying to find someone in the circle. One back, Mugridge plays out wide. Mugridge continued his run.
And you can see the problem there for the Portuguese, that if one of their forward line picks the ball up from the first defence, then they've nobody in front of that to play the ball to, so they end up running it into the Welsh defender, and it comes back again.
Carlos coming back on, of course, had his couple of minutes in forced break earlier with the green card, but had a little further rest off the bench using the subs. Here is Carlos looking for a teammate. And Rodri Furlong straight on the field again, coming on for Prosser, caught in the mix, but it's now in the D, and it's another penalty corner. And now maybe the chance, they've obviously had some success from the short corner, the penalty corner in this match. They're looking to try and do so again as we're into the final 6 minutes, just under.
Yeah, good position, getting the ball down the left channel again to Gareth Furlong on the baseline, and since he gets the drag flick, it's just as easy for him to take the penalty corner than do anything from there. So good execution. Again, two castles at the top, Carlos on one and Gareth Furlong on the other.
So Stephen Kelly to inject. It was Furlong with the try, Gareth Furlong. Try and feed its way through, and that is another one.
Rhys Gowman.
Yeah, Rhys Gowman, obviously big family history in the game, and he's in the act, and that's 4 goals and just a tiny little goal with still just under 5 minutes to go, and they've now restored a 3-goal cushion.
Absolutely. Part of me would say that was about his dad's distance. He scored from there. Sorry, Andy. No, the space is now beginning to open up. Portuguese tiring, and rightly so, because they've done a lot of work, and now they're doing it with 10 players. But
trying to counter here. Centre has been a really good player to watch. Tried his best at both ends of the field. Now Hutchinson's time. Carlos. Brignall. Brignall. Very neat. That man Franco again. Oh, that was a loud one to the face.
The last Welsh attack, David Franco did some excellent team defending, where he Welsh had an overload coming down the right hand side, and just by his position he forced them to go out to their left where they didn't have as many players and he had more of his teammates, and it took them longer to build it up. A very intelligent player, and he's trying everything he knows to get back to it.
that was the challenge. Just got a little bit of treatment. There is the Swiss team. They are here and they are inside the complex, up against Scotland later on. Of course, Slovakia, the other team in the 5, they'll be featuring tomorrow. But Scotland against Switzerland, you can join us for live coverage of that ahead of the 7:15 kickoff. And if you're local, get yourself down for a bit of Tuesday night hockey. Now Furlong trying to find the gap, almost came through for Owen Dolan Gray. Forward to Shipperley. Excellently done again. Looking to cut it back, and there's another penalty corner.
Franco being attended to by the medical staff from the Portuguese team just now.
Magic ice and glassy water routine. Definitely took a cut to just above his eye there.
Yeah, so I might need to. Don't know what these guys do, whether they glue it or they stitch it.
Don't think we'll see him today anyway. But definitely the two standout players probably in that Portugal team, David Franco and Miguel Rodriguez. Definitely a bit of quality with them, definitely worked hard. Definitely tried to help their side, but it will be in vain and it will be in pain in terms of David Franco, but it is Rupert Shipperley here for Wales. Tried a couple of goals in there, Luke Hawker.
Great save by the keeper.
Camacho, despite conceding 4, has had a handful of really good saves in the game.
Interesting to know whether that was a planned corner or a bad push out that Luke Hawker made the most of. My impression would be it would be a missed push out, because with 2 minutes to go you wouldn't be wanting to show another corner that you might use in a game
point,
where
yeah.
You might need it against somebody in the last minute. I'm not sure you would want to show it.
Into the final 60 seconds. Portugal 1, Wales 4. Portugal 41st in the world against Wales 36th. As we've mentioned, Wales may well feel they should be in the 20s. The GB scenario in the last tournament and had more limited playing time, but they're showing us here how well they've played, been dominant for the most part. Will they gloss it off? Dolan Gray. Gooch. Just happy to keep hold of it, or they're going to go for the jugular. They're going to try anyway. Kelly, or is he just going to keep it down in the corner? Into the final 5. Hawker on a little ambitious effort, but that is that, and Wales off to a flyer of a start. 3 points for them in the table. That's just what they wanted as they look to get through to round 2 of this Hockey World League, and in the end very much the deserved side won.
Yeah, they controlled the game. I think Hack will be reasonably happy with their performance. I think he'll be looking to be improving the quality of their connections in the circle, but they've had a chance to try out their main penalty corner routines. Their forwards have made good leads. They managed to get the ball into danger areas. They've been aggressive in defence and trying to front mark and get to the ball. So I think they'll come out of it reasonably happy. Everybody's had a run. They'll have also got to know how the games are being umpired. They've taken a couple of cards, but they know now what the currency for the umpires are.
And obviously Portugal, we have mentioned it a few times, but David Franco, who did score, also Miguel Rodriguez, two standouts, and there was that spell, 10-15 minutes at the start of the second half, and that spell before the red card, but they tried as the May to get forward, and they do have a little bit of a handy weapon if they can get the ball forward.
Absolutely, and I think Mario, the coach, will be much happier with the second half performance. They moved to a back four. From that back four, they started to be able to create opportunities. They were getting balls down the outside channels and managing to make leads and get possessions in the Welsh 23. I think the main thing for me, we're seeing some of the highlights here. Rupert Shipperley had a really good game, very speedy, good release out to the left position, and that's Gareth Furlong dragging the ball through the gap of the Portuguese zone defence. Interesting here, you'll be able to see it if you're looking at number 26, Luke Hawker. If you watch the two forwards actually change places, Hawker then just steps back and steps out, and the Portuguese midfield and defence have stepped across the ball, and they've left a gap in which Furlong's be able to put through. And here's David Franco's corner. Nice drag flick along the ground. David Kettle's probably be a wee bit disappointed that he didn't get down to it, but with two castles, you've got to stay up that little bit longer. That was a bit of hope there for the Portuguese. And then the Welsh came again, similar sort of position, this time going to near post, and Rhys Gowman unmarked at that position. But they've been more successful getting the ball into positions from that area, and Rhys just managing that deflection past the Portuguese goalkeeper.
So some of the action from this second period, and obviously Wales running away with it in terms of the scoreline. Obviously, I guess the other point really was Luis Tavares, the red card. We're going to just mention that because obviously he got a yellow, and then clearly he must have said something to the umpire. I guess you just can't do that if it was serious.
Yeah, it's frustrations build up, and sometimes players let it boil over, especially when they're tired. No excuse for it, but he'll be, I'm not sure what the regulations are, but he'll certainly miss probably next two games in the tournament for them.
Well, there is confirmation of the scoreline. Portugal 1, Wales 4. Gareth Furlong that is, and Robert Mudridge in the first half. And then Luke Hawker and Rhys Gowman in the second, with one in the middle from David Franco in that second period. Obviously Scotland-Switzerland, you see there, we've got live coverage of that. The 7:15 kickoff will be on there a few minutes before the head of that one. But very great to have you on board for our first match of the day. Thanks very much to Neil as well. We'll hear more from Neil later on, as we'll be back just before 7:15 for our next game. But the final score in this one, Portugal 1, Wales 4.